Hey, it's Xavier Gonzalez again. Just before I start in the video, thank you if you're listening to me. It means a lot. YouTube's just kind of a place where I just ramble about stuff. I just ramble about stuff I am very opinionated about. But yeah, so topic for today, I guess. How the MCU is not working out and how it can get back on track. I feel like it's pretty simple because, in all honesty, I've watched all the movies after Endgame and quite a bit of the TV shows. And it's not bad. It's not bad. It is, in all honesty, somewhat comparable to Phase 1 or Phase 2 because, well, a lot of those movies in there were not the best, Again, Marvel has always had its, you could say, is kind of formulas. They've always been there. There's a lot of things that a lot of movies have in common, but those things are kind of few and far between. I'm mainly thinking throwaway villains, ends with big dumb CG fight, and really quippy humor. That's about it. So, but I think Marvel does a good job to freaking try to keep them different, and it works most of the time. But yeah, but a lot of those movies were okay. I mean, they're B or C tier. Like Thor, the first Thor is a pretty fine movie. Is pretty decent. I would say the same of the Marvels or Quantumania. Like, frick it. Movie. See, I'm already forgetting the movie. That's bad. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, But start again. This is fine, But I think the main thing Marvel's losing us on is where the hell is this all leading up to? I think that's the biggest thing that are kind of rubbing people off is where's my hard-earned money that I go to pay these movies? And I'm not getting lead-ups to Kang or anything, Like, I think people are gonna feel burned if they're not seeing that build-up. Yeah. And in all honesty, I am grown more and more, I guess, selective of my movie choices. I don't know. Well, we'll put it this way. I haven't watched the new X-Men 97 animated series. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch Fantastic Four or Blade because, well, those are kind of sort of nostalgia plays or bigger names that a lot of hardcore comic fans like. But I would not consider myself a hardcore comic fan. I've read, like, pretty much just the Injustice prequel comics and, like, a few one-shots. That's it. So, I'm not really a fan of these, And I am of the newer generation who grew up on this Marvel stuff. I'm the MCU. This is Tom Holland's my Spider-Man, And yeah, I've gone and I've revisited some of them, particularly the other Spider-Man movies, and I can see their merits. But, they don't have that first viewing nostalgic connection. So yeah. I digress, I guess. But I think the big point is that none of these are particularly bad. I don't think Marvel's had a truly just terrible thing. I think at the worst, you have like Black Widow and Eternals, which are just pretty boring. And then She-Hulk, which is, just, I would say it's probably a very adult show. I don't know, because I've only watched one episode. My parents were watching. I popped in and I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching more of this. And Thor, Love and Thunder, which, again, I don't think was too bad. I just think I think the biggest problem is it's a bit too silly. It's a bit too silly. But, I mean, other than that, I think it's been fine, The first three were WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki. Those were all pretty epic. Shang-Chi, I liked Shang-Chi a lot. I was okay with Thor, Love and Thunder. All these movies and the TV shows I've watched, I think this is a big thing, is that I've given up on these TV shows. I didn't watch Hawkeye. I'm only just now getting around to What If Season 2, which is pretty good. And what else? I haven't watched Hawkeye. Didn't watch Miss Marvel. One episode of She-Hulk. No Werewolf by Night. I know it's not a TV show, but I've already given up on, the Disney Plus thing, because I'm like, what's the point, I don't feel like I need to watch this stuff. I think that's the big thing, is that Marvel movies kind of felt like events, and you always had to go to them because you were like, well, what's going to happen next? How is this going to tie in? And they tied in, Even the solo movies had cameos. Thor had Doctor Strange. Spider-Man had Iron Man show up, They had connecting threads and reasons to give it something. And I just don't really feel that a lot with, like the current movies and shows that are being brought out. Also, Guardians 3 was pretty good. But yeah, like, not a lot of that ties in. And it's especially concerning when, like, not a lot of stuff mentions these pretty earth-shaking things. Like, I watched Eternals, and as far as I can remember, there was, like, one mention of a giant, like, space god rock. I don't know. Wait. Like, just a giant thing coming out of the Indian Ocean. So it's like, what's the point then? And to be honest, I think they should have. For some of these decisions, if you don't want to put in this like mass amount of work to explain like pretty earth-shaking decisions, like maybe rewrite that. Let the movie have its time. Although too much time can lead to an overcooked mess. Pretty much looking at you, DC, with your Flash movie. Even then, that movie was fine, but it's a good example. Like, DC, there were a whole slew of problems, but they did not keep the connections going very well. And I think it's one thing that could really help Marvel is just build up those connections again, bringing cameos. I think Wong's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. From what I've seen. Uh, what else? Yeah, just bringing cameos and tease stuff. You gotta tease stuff. You know, we've had a few Thanos, like teases, throughout the Infinity Saga, and it worked out pretty well because you're like, well, I know he's coming. We're gonna do something with Thanos. We're gonna do something with the Infinity Stones. This has been heavily built up, but not particularly, like, I guess, like, it's not the main focus for the most part of the movie. Like, Doctor Strange, the focus is not really, oh, look at this, it's a time stone. No, it's Doctor Strange is a butthole. And he, he goes on a bit of a spiritual journey, you could say. And he defeats, this god of darkness in a pretty awesome way. Coming to bargain. But it also adds, what he's been using as the time stone in that build. It's layers. Where I don't feel that. I don't feel that. So, and I want to give out these solutions because, again, I really don't think the MCU is gonna, like, burn up. Like, maybe if Deadpool and Wolverine is bad, like, people will be really burned by it. But I mean, it's not gonna die an explosive death. It's gonna die an apathetic death. The box office is gonna go down. Nobody's gonna care anymore. That's the same thing that happened to DC. Not enough people were burned on this stuff, and they just passed. And as you saw, box office went down. Pretty much, when you look at the DCEU's track record from Aquaman, no other movie was able to gross those heights. You had Black Adam, that got the closest. And then an Aquaman 2, which I find very somewhat satisfying in that, yeah, it didn't gross $1 billion, but it beat all the other DCEU movies. All the other movies that got made between Aquaman and Aquaman 2, Aquaman still beat them. So, yeah. But I think, because again, Marvel's just been losing revenue and been losing interest, and that's how it dies. It just burns up. For example, there's a very easy idea. Transformers was supposed to have a cinematic universe, and kind of still does. I mean, I have no idea where they're taking these movies. Like, I only watched Bumblebee and Rise of the Beasts, which, I mean, they're pretty solid. But last night, if you even remember that, last night was supposed to be the launcher of all the cinematic universe. It was like 2016. They need to get in on the cash. Yeah, that didn't happen. Because everybody watched. Well, I guess not me, but a lot of people watched, like, Age of Extinction, and they all were like, "This is garbage. You thought the previous movies were pretty bad. This isn't even, like, somewhat enjoyable. This is just dead. I hate this." And so they're like, Transformers movie, no thank you, bye-bye. Bye-bye. And it doesn't help that I think, I mean, again, I haven't watched these movies. I've only watched reviews. Shout out to Pointless Hub on YouTube for those reviews of the Transformers movie. I might watch the original, like, 2007 Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon, mainly because they have Shia LaBeouf and I want to see him out this. But back on track. Like, I think, again, Marvel's gonna suffer the same fate. Interest is just gonna wane. I mean, to be honest, how many people are watching new X-Men 87? Like, I know I ain't. So, but I think in order to just, I guess not maybe get back to the big box office returns, but maybe start breaking even and gaining just a little bit of profit. Marvel needs to kind of up the connections and really make it feel like it's leading to something, because obviously what they had planned was Kang, but like we've barely gotten any hints. Like, you have Loki, and Ant-Man Quantumanium. That's 2 seasons of a show and a movie. And yeah, I would also recommend Marvel maybe chill on the CGI, because damn, is looking rough. I get that, like, CGI special effects are always gonna look like wonky because, you're trying to display like crazy cool technology or magic, for both, but like some parts really look rough. So yeah, maybe slow your roll on that and give them a break. But yeah, again, I have not grown up on X-Men and on Deadpool. I passed on those things because either I was too young or I was like, do I really want to watch this? Probably not. So the Marvel movies are some of my nostalgic collection. At least in terms of movies, it's a pretty big nostalgia. So it's sad to see it kind of just fade away, but I think for the most part it is, it's kind of necessary, I guess. I mean, you reap what you sow. But I really think if Marvel just tries to connect more with this stuff and lead to something bigger, it'll help. Mainly because there's just a lot of stuff. There's just too much stuff to care about. Moon Knight, Eternals, Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, Werewolf by Night, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Thunderbolts is coming up, which I'm actually somewhat excited for, just because I like the team-ups, I guess. Dopamine Go, I don't know. But, like, there's just so much to care about, and obviously we can't care about it all, so we start getting selective. And when the really big stuff you're pushing is the big stuff like Secret Invasion, apparently it's going to be the next really spy thriller like Winter Soldier, and it turns out to be not that good. Again, I haven't watched it. I was like, no more Disney Plus for me. But yeah, I think that's what Marvel needs to do. I mean, obviously you could also do like some writing issues, but I mean, like, again, most of the stuff I watched has been all right. It's been fine. There were decisions made, and I really can't think of, again, mostly just bad writing stuff. I think, again, Eternals really should not have been a movie. that'd be perfect for Disney's little short TV shows. And I think Black Widow was just weird. I didn't like it that much. It was very boring, and I did not like the time frame of after Civil War. Really, for like a solo movie, you take place like during then, but whatever. That's my 2 cents on this issue with Marvel. And again, connections and you should just build to something. I know Jonathan Majors in some legal troubles, so you might have to like rewrite the main villain. But you know, I mean, they made the Infinity Saga like. I guess I shouldn't talk because I don't make movies and play in this universe. But if you want people to have a cinematic universe they're gonna give a crap about, you make these connections like the Infinity Saga. You will lead to something bigger. But that's all. Thank you for again watching or listening. I know I'm not. No, it's just me talking. Which, I mean, I don't know how to edit videos yet. But that's all. Watch my other videos if you like or don't. Again, just thanks for watching, if you did. Or listen, again. It's just me. But yeah, that's all. Spending Saver Gonzalez. Bye-bye.